sports.
We are the Fourth. We are Wisconsin.
Beautiful view of Camelback Mountain here in Phoenix, Arizona. Spring training baseball is on the air, and while Wisconsin in the upper Midwest gets hit with snow, we have nothing but dry heat in the desert. The Royals and the Brewers here this afternoon. Welcome aboard, everybody. I'm Craig Kashan along with Bill Schroeder. Milwaukee and Kansas City getting very close to opening day, 11 days away. Willie Peralta, Milwaukee's opening day starter, gets a turn here today, Rock.
Yeah, and coming into spring training, you figure that Willie would have a pretty good shot at being that opening day starter. Craig Counsell is saying he's not putting too much stock into the spring that Willie's been putting together. It hasn't been very good. He's been throwing a lot of change-up, something he's not going to do in the regular season, but Craig wants to see him have some success, get into some rhythm, which has been very difficult for him down here in spring training. Look for the slider to be the pitch for Willie today. Craig Counsell saying that he'd like to see some swings and misses with the Willie Peralta slider here today.
All right, Willie's looking forward to the opening day start. We are too. A little bit of work to be done, though, here at Maryvale Baseball Park before all that comes through. Scooter Gennett is having a red-hot spring. He's batting over 500. He'll be in the lineup. We'll set all those and get baseball going here from Maryvale when we come back. The Brewers and the defending champ Kansas City Royals. Afternoon for baseball in Maryvale, Phoenix, Arizona area. Of course, Maryvale Baseball Park. The Royals and the Brewers are ready to battle here 11 days until opening day. A very familiar face in the other dugout. It's Ned Yost, the Kansas City Royals manager. His team, of course, winning the World Series a year ago, and he did it with a couple of familiar Milwaukee Brewers along the way. It's Escobar and Kane. They'll be sandwiched around Moustakas to open up the ball game here. The first three to bat. Then it's Hosmer, Morales, Gordon, Perez, Orlando, and Omar Infante for the Kansas City Royals. Brilliant sunshine here today, and they will face Willie Peralta. The Brewers have not taken the field defensively yet, but Milwaukee, an off day yesterday, their final off day of the spring. I mentioned 11 days until opening day. Milwaukee will then embark on a two-game trip to Houston at the end of next week. About middle of the week, they're going to break camp for Maryvale, and then they'll finish with a exhibition game against Biloxi, their AA affiliate, before coming home for opening day on April 4th. And here come the Brewers as they are grabbing the field now. Willie Peralta is going to be out on the hill for the Milwaukee Brewers. And for Willie Peralta, he's going to be the opening day starter, Rock. We talked a little bit about him a few moments ago. to get the broadcast started. But a big start for him. You see his numbers a year ago, just 5-10.
Yeah, it was a disappointing season for Willie, who normally before last year was able to make just about every one of his starts. An injury-plagued year for him, and certainly a year that he'd like to forget. He's having a rough spring training. He's working on some things, according to his manager, Craig Counsell. He's thrown 10 innings, given up 13 earned runs. But again, Craig Counsell is saying not to worry. I think Willie's one of those guys that just going to get his work in. I think you're going to see Willie, throwing a baseball like he would on opening day. He's got today's start, and then he starts on Tuesday, and then it's opening day at Miller Park as you check the Brewers' starting defense. They got Newen Heist in center. Eric Young Jr. is going to be in there instead of Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun scratched before today's game. Santana in right. You got Hill, VR, Jeanette, and Carter. The opening day infield, you would think, for Milwaukee. Martin Maldonado behind home plate, catching his old buddy Willie Peralta today.
That's the Badger Mutual Brewers defense behind Willie Peralta here today. And there's a look at Martin Maldonado behind the plate. These two guys have hooked up many a time before as battery mates during regular season games. It'll be interesting how those matchups for the battery mates work out as the season progresses here. But Brewers, as you mentioned, Rock, their roster is starting to shape up pretty well. I think you get a pretty good idea if you're a Royals fan and a Brewers fan watching today. A lot of familiar names going to be in that opening lineup in their familiar positions here.
Yeah, pretty close to opening day lineups of both of these clubs today. Good to see as we continue here in spring training. Not too much left.
And Alcides Escobar will get things going. Kind of a quiet spring for him at 143. But boy, has he become a fixture since he was traded from the Milwaukee Brewers organization over to Kansas City. Swings at the first pitch, and there's your first out of the ball game. VR takes care of business. Shortstop
a very opportunistic offense for Kansas City. I mean, there's not a whole lot of eye-popping names in that lineup. They do have some guys that are coming into their own as far as becoming stars in this league, but they've bought into the Ned Yost philosophy, a team play, and certainly last couple of years would prove that.
Well, the Royals, is Mike Moustakas steps in, 378, couple of home runs, 8 RBIs, swings at that first pitch. Brewers defense has him set, and 2 pitches and
Not
2
too bad,
outs.
huh? That's what you call managing your pitch count pretty well. That was a bullet by Moustakas. And check it out. This Willie gets a piece of this one and knocks it a little bit closer over to VR. It's Short who gets the out. So 2 pitches, 2 outs for Willie, both on the ground.
Well, Willie will take that based on what he did in that last outing. You mentioned he got roughed up pretty good. You don't want to give up 10 runs, 7 earned, and less than 3 innings of work when you're midway through spring training. But hopefully he can have that bounce back out on the mound here today and get himself better prepared for the regular season start as he faces Lorenzo Cain, another former Milwaukee Brewer organizational top prospect. And he has flourished into an all-star in center field with the Kansas City Royals.
That was a good trade for both, I think.
Yeah.
You bring over Zach Greinke, end up winning a division in Milwaukee, and Kansas City Royals set themselves up nicely for the future. Back-to-back World Series appearances, won it all last year.
This one slapped into right field. And there's your out as Santana takes care of business. A nice quick start in the opening frame for Willie Peralta as the Brewers come to bat here in the first. To bat for the first time against the Kansas City Royals here in this spring training game. Temperatures in the low 80s here today, and this is a look at that batting order that he will go with today. Scooter Gennett at the top of the order. Big question is, will we see him on opening day at the top of the order? Then it's going to be Aaron Hill. Ryan Braun, again, is scratched from today's game, so Domingo Santana is going to be batting third today. Then Kurt Neuenhuis is the cleanup batter. Chris Carter, Jonathan Villar, Martin Maldonado, Eric Young Jr., and then Willie Peralta is going to get a chance to bat here in this game for the first time. And they're going up against Dylan G., veteran right-handed pitcher for the Kansas City Royals. And Gennett takes that first pitch for a strike.
Yeah, had a pretty decent run with the New York Mets. He started the season with the Mets last year, was designated for assignment, spent the rest of the season in AAA, and the Royals picked him up as a non-roster invite. He's thrown the baseball extremely well. He's got an earned run average at around 270 in 10 innings. Has given up only 3 runs. Looks like Dylan G is going to make this club in some capacity.
Those are the kind of numbers you want to put up when you're a non-roster invitee, that's for sure. Getting the work done, and the Royals rotation for the most part is set, and their bullpen is going to be what they believe could be even better than a year ago. And the bullpen certainly helped carry that pitching staff, as you see Scooter's numbers from a year ago, and he lofts one into left field. And this one, nice running catch by Gordon. And there's the first out. Boy, Scooter Gennett, hard to get out this spring, 538.
And he's been shooting the ball to the opposite field just like he did there. It hung up on him just a little bit, maybe off the end. And a nice running catch out there in left field by Alex Gordon. Ball's a tendency to carry, even when you don't get much of it. Hung up there, and Gordon able to run underneath.
Here's Aaron Hill, Milwaukee's third baseman, in the number 2 spot here this afternoon for Craig Counsell. 152 here this spring. Aaron Hill's numbers from a year ago, 230, of course, came over in the Gene Segura trade from the Arizona Diamondbacks. He came over with Chase Anderson as well. As we take a look at the defense for the Royals behind G here today, brought to you by Badger Mutual. That outfield, Gordon's already made a catch. Kane and Orlando left to right. And then Moustakas, Escobar, and Fonte and Hosmer. In that infield, Perez is the catcher for G.
Pretty solid defensive middle infield for the Kansas City Royals. Hosmer outstanding at first base.
Orlando makes the catch out and right to retire Aaron Hill.
They don't make many mistakes, the Kansas City Royals, over the last couple of years. When you talk about trying to play against the Royals, they play good fundamental defense. Starting rotation a bit shaky from time to time, but if they have a lead in the 7th inning, forget it. That bullpen, one of the best.
Here's Domingo Santana, who's got a 7-game hitting streak going. Entering his first full season with the Brewers, batting .500 here this spring. And I think if you answered the question of who's been maybe the best performer and might be the biggest surprise, I don't know about surprise, but Santana has been as solid as it gets. But here, the pitcher's own the first inning. Heading to the second from Maryvale, no score, Royals and Brewers. 2nd. Royals and Brewers, no score, and baseball is back. FS1 starts the season Thursday, April 7th, as Prince Fielder and the Rangers take on Mike Trout of the Angels. It's all in America's home for baseball all season long. FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Looking forward to the regular season Brewers and Giants from Miller Park on April 4th. Willie Peralta, who's on the mound here in this spring training game, will be opening in Milwaukee for the Brewers. A lot to look forward to with a revamped Milwaukee Brewers baseball club. A 1-2-3 first inning for Willie Peralta, and he hopes to continue that here against Kansas City.
Looks like he has much better life on that fastball, able to get that one by Hosmer upstairs. Just hadn't had the zip, the rhythm out there on the mound so far in spring training. This is about the time to start getting it all together. This start and one more before opening day.
You get a better appreciation what a pitcher goes through. Spring training is really mostly for the pitchers to get fully stretched out and ready to go for that first week of the regular season, Rock. But you're in Arizona or you're in Florida, but normally most of those teams aren't starting out in those two states. Now they go up into the cold country, the wet country, and then summer doesn't get in the full swing for a while yet. That's what the Brewers pitchers will experience for their home games as well. That dome is closed for most of the month or two, first couple of months of the baseball season.
Yeah, a little bit more difficult to pitch down here, but it's no excuse for the way Willie has been throwing the baseball. I mean, he just has not been able to get that comfort level, find the rhythm. And if it's going to happen, not a better time than today to get those good feelings going into your last start in spring training next Tuesday. And you see that big shift that the Brewers are throwing out there. Hosmer now Kendrys Morales. They shift on everybody.
Aaron Hill, who's played most of his career at second base, is the Brewers' third baseman, but he's literally over in that second baseman spot just on the grass. Our counsel says for the defensive shifts that they make, it's amazing what you can do with certain guys, his comfort level, just to move them over instead of shifting the shortstop that way. Makes it even better.
Especially when every third baseman is very used to playing second base.
Right to Scooter Gennett in that shift, and Morales is retired.
Yep, Aaron Hill has played a lot of second base in his career, so instead of having a couple of guys out of position, you just throw Aaron Hill over there to the right side of second base. You leave VR at the shortstop position, and you get the easy out to Scooter. So you like the way Willie's been throwing the baseball so far, a lot of ground ball outs.
Here's Alex Gordon batting for the first time today. 3-time All-Star for the Kansas City Royals. 4-time Gold Glove winner. It was like it was the Kansas City Royals representing the American League at the All-Star game a year ago.
And it was. They deserved it, too. And they play good team baseball. Opportunistic offensively. They can steal bases.
This one hit well and will make it for a base hit for Gordon. First base hit of the ball game.
And stays right on it, not afraid to go to the opposite field. And just picks it up, that front foot, sets it down, little off the end, but a base hit to right. Good approach by Alex Gordon. Good swing. Keeps that bat in the hitting zone a long time.
Nice spring for him. 324 coming into the game. And now here's the catcher, Salvador Perez. So runner at first for Kansas City. As you mentioned, Rock, very athletic, very aggressive. Their pitching staff is as good as it gets. Edios always liked to run, even in his days with the Milwaukee Brewers, and he was the skipper. Last 3 years, they finished second, first, and first, respectively, in stolen bases.
Well, it's good to be a manager that likes to run when you have players that can run. It's one thing to want to be aggressive on the bases, but you have to have the personnel to be able to pull it off. You just don't want to run because you like to run and run into outs.
A year ago, Kansas City's home record, 51 wins at home, 51-30. So you mix in how aggressive they are, they're good pitching, they play very well at home, protect the home turf. They've been able to retain a lot of their players from a year ago. They've gone to the World Series 2 consecutive years and looking for another one here. Willie gets through 2.
Well, 79 degrees and sunny. That's pretty much standard for spring training this year. Hey, the Brewers kick off the season with a bang as they open the year with a 3-game set against Buster Posey and the San Francisco Giants. That's Monday, April 4th through Wednesday the 6th. Tickets are still available for games Tuesday and Wednesday. Reserve your spot today at brewers.com/tickets.
Let's see, the snowstorm, blizzard like through the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Hope you're enjoying a little sunshine with us this afternoon.
That's
what do you
right,
do,
a
right?
nice warm stretch, right? I mean, it was kind of nice there for a while.
Typical March rock.
Yeah.
Big teaser month in the state of Wisconsin when it comes to weather.
I remember that was the toughest month for me right after I retired from baseball. You know, when you're playing, you know, you leave about mid-February. The weather is rough. You come back in April. It's pretty nice. But you didn't realize how tough the winter, how long it can last through March, and when you're not used to being there in March. So hang with them. The weather's going to get better.
Seems like the seasons are stretching out more. Kirk Neuenhuis. And this one is caught out in right field by Orlando. You're right, the ball just kind of hanging in the air a little bit today, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of jam shots. Dylan G that time gets in the hands of Neuenhuis and easy out to right field. A control pitcher doesn't throw hard. He mixes it up, relies on being able to command his off-speed stuff. He throws just about everything at you. And not afraid to throw inside with that fastball.
Here's Chris Carter. He's the Brewers' new third baseman this year. Of course, came over from the Houston Astros, signed a one-year free agent deal with Milwaukee. They needed a first baseman. Trading away Lind. Carter's numbers from a year ago at 199. That could be a little bit deceiving, though, because this guy had a really strong finish to the regular season. 353 over the last 2 weeks to help the Astros into the playoffs. And he had a heck of a postseason as well, 294.
And when he gets a hold of him, look out. I mean, you watch this guy take batting practice. He does have 3 home runs down here. Nice easy swing. Ball just jumps off his bat.
a football-type player's body, that's for sure. This guy can crush him. Lifts this one to right, got underneath it. And Orlando another out. 2 down quickly. Chris Carter looking forward to playing at Miller Park. This is what he was able to do with the Astros a year ago. 90 home runs over the last 3 seasons combined.
That's 29 years old. He will take his walks. He led the Astros in walks last year. Only 57, but the Astros were not a team that walked a whole lot, so he's going to have to improve that this year.
And VR bats for Milwaukee, got jammed on the first pitch and a quick out. But another quick inning. We're already through 2 here in Maryvale. No scores. We head to the 3rd. Score. Baseball is back, and your Milwaukee Brewers are ready to take to the field. Fox Sports Wisconsin gives you an inside look into the 2016 Milwaukee Brewers, including exclusive interviews with players and coaches. The Brewers season preview starts tonight at 10 only on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Jeff Grayson and Jerry Augustine hard at work putting that show together, along with the rest of our big staff. We've got a big staff. We're looking forward to the season, bringing you baseball again on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Sophia Minert is here. She's going to join us in the booth next inning.
Find out what she's been up to all winter. Of course, she doesn't have an off season like, I guess, just me. You don't either.
Yeah, we don't get one, Rock. We're full-timers. Not to say you're not a full-timer. Here's Paulo Orlando, the right fielder.
What are you saying?
Let's see, we do 12 months out of the year.
I'm full-time, part-time.
You're a full-time, part-timer. You work the 80 hours a week during the 6 months of the baseball season, right? Would you like to get paid by the hour?
I would you use that term work loosely, too. It's not work. This is great. Best month of the year right here. Spring training, March.
Little comebacker to Peralta. So far, so good.
Willie's got life on that fastball today, and he needed it. Needed a good outing, and he's on his way for it. They bust him in, got in on Orlando right there, just ate him up inside.
There's Omar Infante, the second baseman. Well, Willie got chewed up. There's no doubt about that in his last start against the Angels. Again, just 2 2/3 innings, 7 earned runs given up, 11 hits, and he said afterwards he's not going to worry about it because he knows that's not him.
Right.
He's working through things this spring like everybody else is. And Rock, you got to have that confidence first. That's for sure. This one just off the glove of VR. And so a single. 1 out single for Infante.
Yeah, that's the pitch right there that Willie needs to, get a better feel for. That slider. Not a bad pitch, and Infante, the veteran, able to stay right on it. They were talking to Craig Counsell before the game today, talking about some of the things that he's looking for out of Peralta today. He said, I'd love to see some swings and misses with the slider. He hasn't been getting a lot of those this spring. That's his strikeout pitch when he's going well. He's got to get that pitch, break late, break sharp. Doesn't have to be a big break, but just keep these hitters off balance. And Fonte picked that slider up early because it had a big loopy break to it. And able to get his base hit.
Here's Escobar, the shortstop, with one down.
And that's the thing about a breaking pitch. It doesn't have to be big. It has to be late and quick. And that's what keeps hitters off balance. When you can pick up a breaking pitch early, I mean, I don't care how much it breaks, you're going to get a good look at it. But when Willie has his slider going, very similar to, Jimmy Nelson. Short, quick, late breaking pitches. That's what you need.
I think Willie went through a physical and mental learning experience, an educational experience a year ago. That's going to happen when you put in the early years of your Major League Baseball career. Called strike 3.
Yeah, a little backdoor action on that breaking pitch that time. Now, Cities Escobar doesn't take too many pitches. He got caught looking here. Check out Maldonado. There's that breaking pitch. I guess Escobar thought it might have been low, but look at Martin able to hold it there nicely. Might have stolen one. For a called strike.
Ben May is calling balls and strikes, leading this umpiring crew here today. Here's Mike Moustakas. Runner goes. Maldonado from his knees is just late. Well, he can get that ball off. Does not need to pop up. Not on his legs all the time.
And check out VR. He's trying to steal the call from the second base umpire and starts to run off the field and couldn't do it. He didn't sell it enough.
Yeah, Bob.
Good try, though.
VR was named the Brewers starting shortstop before the Brewers opened up spring training, and Aaron Hill was named the starting third baseman. Craig Counsell wanted to insert certain individuals to spots that were question marks, but in his opinion, he had players that they were basically their jobs to lose. Center field, a little different story right now. Craig Counsell saying today as Moustakas bats that with Reimer Liriano injured, of course he got hit in the head, that center field spot right now, you have Broxton out there, Neuenhuis is in there today, Flores has obviously played in that spot. That it sounds like he's more than willing to open up the season a little more on matchups and not necessarily have one player at this point anyway be named a starter out there.
Right. Left-right combination out in center field. The bench looks like the Brewers are going to have 5 outfielders on their roster. 2 extra infielders.
And you have Flores, who could also play some first base for depth there. Brewers are going to have to make some decisions as well with their relief pitching staff.
Yeah, got some contract issues coming up this weekend. 3 pitchers that they have to make a decision on.
This one skips away from Maldonado, and so Infante advances to third.
Yeah, Capuano, Blaine Boyer, and Franklin Morales. If they don't make the ball club, or Brewers haven't made a decision, they don't keep them, then they become free agents. They can sign on with anybody they want. So those decisions are coming down the pike very quickly here.
Morales is slated to pitch later today. Nice block by Maldonado. Quick throw down to third. And Hill does a nice job of pulling it out of the dirt.
That's a heck of a block by Martin Maldonado. Wow. It looked as though Infante thought that ball was going to go to the screen. Check this out. Talk about a block. Wow. Keeps it close. And feels as though he has a shot to pick him off at third base. Yeah, chalk up an RBI for Maldonado right there. Saved one.
Two down, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Moustakas waits. Foul territory. Aaron Hill fighting the sun and makes the catch for the final out. Willie Peralta very efficient. 37 pitches through 3 innings. No score.
Here at Maryvale, no score. Good pitching so far today, and reserve your spot at Miller Park for the season's first Sunday afternoon showdown as the Brewers take on the Houston Astros on Sunday, April 10th. And all fans get a 1980s vintage Brewer bobblehead courtesy of Chevrolet. For tickets, go to Brewers.com.
They don't waste time getting the bobbleheads out, do they?
Very popular, yep. All fan giveaways.
Cannot beat that.
Tons of them.
Martin Maldonado bats for the first time today. I will say this, Rock, it still surprises me when we are on the road and we see giveaways at other ballparks, and it's for fans like the first 10,000 that are actually there.
Right.
And that was done. Remember when Ken Griffey Jr. was honored when he was going into the hall when he was done playing for Seattle? They only gave away 10,000 of his bobbleheads, and people were waiting in line the entire day for that night game. Ground out to the pitcher from Maldonado, 1 down.
Well, Brewers have always been very good. All fan giveaways.
Yep.
There's a heck of a play by Dylan G. Throws a glove down, knocks it down, and gets his man at first base.
Here's Eric Young Jr. He was a late add to the Brewers lineup. Again, Ryan Braun was scheduled to start out in left and hit third again today, but is not playing, staying cautious because of a little back soreness.
Eric Young, certainly a guy that has a good shot at making his ball club. Versatile guy, switch hitter, he can run. And he's got a lot of major league experience. There's a lot to be said for experience coming off the bench.
Okay.
Looks just like Dad. Of course, his dad played for the Brewers back in the mid-2000s. 2002 to 2003. There's EY's numbers from a year ago. And at the Rockies, the Mets.
That led the National League in stolen bases. Was that 3 years ago?
And he draws the walk.
Draws the walk, and I would imagine he's going to try and steal one. Remember, it came down to Eric Young Jr. for the Mets and Gene Segura, and the Brewers and Mets were playing each other in New York, the final weekend of the season. Segura did not get a stolen base, and I think Eric Young Jr. got a couple and ended up, what do you have, 42 stolen bases, something like that, to lead the league.
EY with 144 career stolen bases.
Actually, it was 38 stolen bases.
38 led that year, yep. Willie Peralta trying to get him over. Now watch out there, Willie. 0-2. Starting pitchers getting their first cracks hitting in the last week or so.
Drop down your bunts, help yourself advance a base runner.
Going to try one more time, it looks like. Check of Young over at first.
Willie takes a mean batting practice. Hits the ball a long way, just hasn't been able to, do it in a game. He's going to get one at some point.
Well, for the most part, if he has a runner on, he is going to be asked to do what he's trying to do here, and that's get him over in scoring position.
Willie was 1 for 30 last year.
There goes Young. Willie strikes out. Throw to second is late. Goes into center field, but Young will hold up. Kane coming in quickly. Stolen base, though, for EY.
Yep, taking off the old butcher boy. That's a pretty good curveball from Dylan G. Eric Young Jr. able to steal it, get into scoring position for the top of the batting order. Now they say the curveball doesn't break all that much here in Arizona, but that was a dandy. That was a good curveball, and Willie Peralta not much of a chance.
Here's Scooter Gennett. He's got Young in scoring position with 2 down, and Scooter having himself a nice spring once he got going. He had a sore shoulder that kept him out of a good chunk of time, but over the last week plus, he's been hitting the ball very well. 538 clip coming into this game. Flew out to left his first time up. It's a different confidence in Scooter Gennett this spring compared to the confidence he had last spring. Much more mature and businesslike.
I have a correction I got to make on the stolen bases for AY Jr. He had actually 46 stolen bases for the year, 38 with the Mets and 8 with the Rockies. I want to thank Mike Vassallo, who's resting comfortably back in Milwaukee while the rest of us are working down here. So he's keeping an eye on us.
Good to hear from Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Center field, Kane makes his way over and makes the catch. So that'll do it for the Brewers. We are headed to the 4th. No score, Royals and Brewers. Maryvale, our Cousins game summary. No score. It's all about the pitchers right now. The Royals with a couple of hits off Willie Peralta. But not much going on unless you like pitching right now. But if you like hitting, we have Darnell Coles, the Brewers hitting coach, who is down in the dugout. It's been kind enough to put a headset on and spend a little bit of time with us here on the broadcast. DC, thanks for coming on, and let's talk a little bit about Brewer hitting this spring and some of the things that you've been pleased with. You have such a turnover the roster right now. Tell us your thoughts on what 2016 is presenting so far.
Well, so far it's been outstanding. Craig has set the tone early in camp, and the positive message that he put out there during the early part of camp has allowed us to go out and do our jobs. Again, our job is to get these guys better by all means necessary, and that's what we're doing.
Hey, Darnell, it's been 2 years now. I mean, you came over last year and you had to learn the roster, and once you got comfortable with that, now you have a completely different group of guys. Walk us through how you evaluate a new player, a guy you haven't seen before, and when do you start making recommendations to a guy that you haven't seen much of?
Well, for me, it's watching their video during the offseason, get the chance to call and talk to everybody, kind of see where they felt their seasons were last year. And then coming into spring training, making sure that I can look and see all the things that they talked about, make my own evaluation as to what I feel like they need daily. And again, when you're trying to make a team, you're trying not to make a whole lot of changes because you want to give these guys every opportunity to go out and do that, but you also want to make sure that throughout the process that they're doing the things that are going to give them the best chance to be successful. But you know, in the big picture, we've had a great camp. These guys have all gone out and done well. Getting Bronny back has helped, obviously. He's a tremendous cog in the middle of our lineup, and then everything kind of goes off of him. Luke has been phenomenal work-wise. He comes out, he gets his work done, you know, daily to make sure and then reinsure to himself that he's healthy and that he's feeling good about his swing. Domingo Santana is another player that came into spring training a little stronger, a little bigger, put on 10 pounds, which again, with his frame, he can carry that. And he's had a great spring training from his early work to everything that he's put on the table. So it's been fun to watch.
Well, this is a long home run by Eric Hosmer off Willie Peralta. So there's your first run of the ball game. And that belongs to the Kansas City Royals. That's what they will do. They will get things going second time around in the order. And Hosmer, his third home run of the spring. And speaking of long home runs, Darnell, I want to ask you about Chris Carter. 199 a year ago, but this guy's got some tremendous power. What's the balance between how you will work with him maybe to raise that batting average up, but yet not mess around with what a great power hitter that he is?
Well, there's a lot of great things involved in his swing. He gets in a good hitting position. He can consistently drive the ball out of the ballpark. He's got a great strikeout to walk ratio, but he swings and misses a lot. So, you know, my job is just to make sure that we continue to make sure that he's in a good position, confidence-wise, both so that he can cover both sides of the plate. I think if his approach is through the middle, he can adjust either way. But if he is more to the pull side, then I think that's where the problems kind of come in. So keeping him off that roller coaster of, you know, the streaks that kind of come with that. But most importantly, allowing his power to play in our ballpark, because again, it's a home run friendly ballpark. He's got more than enough power to hit it out of all parts of it. But I just want to make sure that he's not trying to pull the ball so much that it takes away from his power to right center field.
Darnell, how much different is you know, coaching down here in spring training? Even I guess as you get into the season, when you have a veteran club as opposed to what you guys have now. You don't. I wouldn't say your starting lineup is all that inexperienced, but you're going to have some guys on the bench. How do you, as coaches, adjust to the age and experience level of your players?
Well, I think most importantly, each individual you bring different aspects to the table. I think the team concept, the stay connected concept that Counts has brought has allowed the guys to understand that you're playing for the guy next to you and the importance of playing team baseball, moving runners over so that the next guy can get them in, and trusting the fact that he's going to do that. So ultimately it boils down to everybody buying into it, and so far so good. Everybody has. I think when you have an older group like we had the last couple years, I think you're a little more set in your ways, but I think this is a young group that is bought into exactly what Counts is trying to accomplish here, and it's bringing the foundation from the bottom up, and it seems like we're going in the right direction. But most importantly, in the long haul, the foundation is going to be set, so when guys come from different organizations and they come here, they'll learn the Brewer way to play baseball.
Darnell, thanks so much, and we'll be talking with you again here real soon. But good start to the spring so far, and we always appreciate talking to you. Okay, good luck.
Awesome, thank you. I'm looking forward to an exciting year, and you know, we're going to shock some people. We're going to be better than people think, so it's going to be exciting.
Awesome. All right, that's Darnell Coles, the Brewers hitting coach, been kind enough to join us from the dugout. The organization has been great during these spring training games to allow us that access, and during the middle of the ball game, it's great to get their insight. And I don't know if there's anybody better in the business. That's for sure. He does a tremendous job with his team, and you know, his positive attitude, especially now, Rock, with a lot of guys who, you know, could use some tutoring, use some tweaking.
There's a lot of failure in this game when you have guys like Darnell Coles and, you know, Ed Cedar, another guy. All these coaches very positive, and they, you know, pat on the back. Sometimes, you know, a kick in the rear end is what they need, and that's what coaching is all about, understanding what each and every player needs that particular moment to make himself better.
There's Chris Carter. We talked about his offense. He's playing first base well, too, this spring. Willie Peralta gives up a solo home run to Hosmer. It is 1-0 Kansas City. There's nothing. The Menards scoreboard. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. As we welcome you back here to Maryvale, and we bring you from sunshine and the grass seats up to our booth right now. And there's a familiar face smiling away. Sophia Minert now joins us, and you're hanging around for the week. Getting yourself acquainted with the 2016 Milwaukee Brewers. We've got the big broadcast obviously on the 4th ready to go. And what do you think so far?
It's been a lot of fun. I think there's so much positive energy, and you know, you guys were just talking about that in the previous inning and talking with council and the coaches and the players. They're still excited, which is something that is great to hear. The second to last week of spring training, this is when it gets tough. Guys are tired. They're ready to get out of Arizona. They're ready to start the season, but there's still a lot of positive energy, and they're competing, and there's still a lot of spots up for grabs this final week, so it's been a lot of fun.
Did you tell them what the weather's like in Milwaukee? They might not be so anxious to get back. So
I had that exact conversation with Will Smith in the dugout during batting practice. He said, yeah, I can't wait to get back to Milwaukee. And I said, well, there is a winter storm advisory today, so maybe, he said, I can wait on that, on the weather.
So you've been down here for a few days. What have you been doing? You get some interviews, some of the young players, right?
Yes, yeah. I think between Craig and I, between what he did and what I was able to do this week, I think we talked with all of the top 30 prospects for the Brewers. So it was a lot of fun to check in with some of those guys that we'll be talking about a lot during the season, and Domingo Santana as well. We'll have a piece on him for opening day. So there's a lot of new faces to meet, and good to check in with the guys from last year as well.
Tell us a little bit about Domingo Santana, the interview you had with him and the story you hope to put together. He's at the plate right now. 7-game hitting streak here in the spring, but quite a story, isn't it?
It is, yeah. He grew up in Santo Domingo, and of course we did the trip to the Dominican Republic a few years ago, so it was great to get his perspective on growing up in the capital city, how his baseball career started in the streets there, and how he developed. And obviously he came on late in the season last year, and they're going to expect him to produce this year, so it was great to sit down and talk with him about his background.
Since I'm always the last to know about anything that's happening with our broadcast, do we have anything new that we can expect this year? I mean, anything that Fox...
Why do you say you're always the last to know?
I'm on a need-to-know basis, so I think everybody understands that. I mean, there's a reason for that. I can only process so much.
That's a good point. We're always watching out.
So what do we have planned on the broadcast this year?
Well, I guess I'm going to turn around and ask you, Rock, are you committing to the big money moment again?
Absolutely. I have no choice. I enjoy doing that, actually. Craig and I have a good time with Augie and
I have no choice.
Well, no, it's it's part of the gig. I mean, I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, I think aside from...
So to answer your question, yes, I'm in.
I'm glad you're all in. We need you. We need you for the big money moment. But to answer your question, I think we'll be introducing a lot of the new players, of course, on the big league team. There's a lot of new guys to get to know. And I think we're going to focus a lot on a lot of the faces and names that we'll hear a lot of, especially from that Biloxi team, from the AA team a year ago, and track their progress and how the guys in the minor league system are coming along.
I'll tell you, from what we've seen from some of these young guys, I mean, the minor leagues are going to be pretty well stacked. AAA, AA is going to have some very good talent. We saw Arcia, up here. He looks like he's going to be the real deal. And that AAA team is going to be a good one in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch those guys develop and, of course, make their adjustments playing in Colorado. And we may see a lot of faces, coming up and down from Colorado and from the big league team. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, although we'll see a variety of guys.
Well, Sophia, interesting topic with Craig Counsell going to Notre Dame and the Badgers matching up with Notre Dame, of course, in the Sweet 16 tomorrow. Is Craig's kind of under the radar a little bit with his back against the wall with the local media, isn't he? Who's he rooting for?
Yeah, well, our beat writers, Tom Hardrecourt, Todd Rosiak, Adam McKelvey, they were all pining for an answer as to who Counsell was going to back, his alma mater or the home state team. And he said, look, I'm going to get a good result either way. So he went with the diplomatic approach.
Right. Do you really believe that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But he said the right things. He went with the diplomatic approach that he said, either way, I've got a team to support moving forward.
That might be the best true political answer that we've heard in months.
I think
across the country, even.
I get you.
We were joking. We think he picked up on the fact that it's an election year, so keep it diplomatic.
Speaking of Counts, I want to get your take. Obviously, when we covered the managerial change a year ago, to what you're perceiving and how things are going on here is we might have a double play, and the throw down is not in time. So they retire Neuenhuis and Santana out in scoring position with 2 down. But it's a different scenario now with Craig running the club. You sense that here right now. It's a different set of circumstances.
Definitely, and he had his chance to make his impact, right away, coming in May last year. But this is his camp now, and it's his team, and guys have totally bought into that. And I had a great conversation with Darnell before the guys got started at batting practice, and I talked to him about keeping things positive and reinforcing good habits and all of that. And he said all of that comes from Counsell. It starts with Counsell at the top. His attitude every day, he's always comes ready to work. He's positive. He's very reaffirming for the guys, but also has high standards. He wants them to compete. We hear that from him all the time. Competition.
You can see right away, the regime. It's the David Stearns, Craig Counsell era. Doug Melvin is still around the ball club. Gord Ash, we saw him today, but this is the new era of Brewers baseball. I think Craig Counsell is a perfect guy to transition from what the Brewers were last year and going forward on the field. We've seen a lot of aggressive base running. We've seen a real commitment to good fundamentals on defense, and I don't think he's going to make a whole lot of mistakes. I'm not sure how many runs they're going to score, but I think it's going to be a good fundamental baseball team when they throw them out on the field.
Absolutely. And, you know, Darnell and I were talking about using a team like the Kansas City Royals as an example, that it starts at the bottom. These guys come into the system. They learn all the good fundamentals, the good habits, how things should be done every day. And when you do all of those little things, when you look up, you can win X amount of games. And so, you know, that's certainly the model that they're trying to implement here of establishing those good habits right away with all of the young players.
And I think you get a good appreciation, too, and you and I had a chance to kind of run through almost the top 30 prospects during our stay here so far at spring training. But, you know, even part of your interview process the other day, it really kind of started with Doug Melvin's trade of Giovanni Gallardo to Texas to really kind of jumpstart the restructuring of this franchise.
Yeah, so many of the guys that we talked to were acquired via trade, free agency, of course, you know, following up with the Brewers draft picks as well. And even hearing about their experiences from other organizations and how they're looking to carry that over here. There's a good vibe over on the minor league side. Those kids they're anxious, they're ready to compete, they want to contribute, they know there are opportunities to be had. So it was a lot of fun talking to a lot of those guys.
Yes, the Brewers in that rebuilding process, but there is a lot of the same vibe I think you get from the big league clubhouse and how they've been able to interact some of those younger guys like Arcia and Phillips being over here, Lopez being over here for the first couple of weeks, you know, and then finally moving over to the minor league side because they'll start over at AAA. You get that same vibe, and I think that's important for people to know. It's not a loosey-goosey, happy-go-lucky thing going on here. There's some serious business here in a positive way.
You know what I noticed about guys like that? I mean, they felt as though they belonged here,
right?
Without being cocky, you know, without being, you know, they thinking they know everything. But you know, it's a group of guys that are very confident in their abilities. It's not just Arcia and some of the big guys that you talk to. Some of these other guys, I mean, they have a lot of pride in their work. They have a good work ethic. And when you talk to Ryan Braun and Jonathan Lucroy, you know, even Aaron Hill, a guy that's new here, they said these kids have a lot of poise. They have a lot of talent. Ryan Braun has said that, you know, this is maybe the most talent he's seen in the entire organization since he's been here, and that says quite a bit.
Well, and to follow up on your point, one of the prospects I talked to is Damian Magnifico.
There's VR with an RBI single, and the Brewers have tied up the ball game. Right on cue.
Yeah, a couple of walks and a base hit. I mean, that's the kind of offense that you know, Craig Counsell has been stressing. On base percentage, not striking out, advancing base runners. So a couple of walks, and now VR able to come up with a 2-out single, not trying to pull it. You know, VR is a switch hitter, and he's going to. That's a kind of an offense I think you're going to see quite a bit in Milwaukee this year.
And Rock, to follow up on your point about the confidence that these guys had, you know, talking to Damian Magnifico, who was a reliever on that Biloxi team a year ago, he said it was great to get that experience to go over to the big league camp. And he said he looked around and he said half of his teammates were with him.
Right,
and so he's, to your point, they feel like they belong. They had the experience with the big league guys, had the opportunity to work with them, learn from them, pick their brains a little bit. And there is confidence, and they're coming up together, and they do feel like they belong, and they're ready to embrace that opportunity of how they can contribute to this club.
And a throw over the first, and G thought he had VR picked off.
Yeah, I think Hosmer did too. That's a little close. VR a base stealer. We've seen him take off, and look at the size of that lead. He missed the tag. That's what he did. Good call at first base. Mike Winter's right on it.
VR doing a nice job of getting on the backside of the bag, and Hosmer up. Look at Hosmer plays about a foot or so off that bag to start with.
Well, still able to make that sweep tag and cover a little bit more ground when the pitch is on its way to home plate.
So Maldonado, 286 on the spring, trying to put the Brewers ahead here in the fourth inning and help his pitcher Willie Peralta out. Sophia Minard's joining Rock and I up here in the booth as we're talking about the upstart Brewers of 2016. Maldonado, that ball's carrying all the way to the wall and gone. A home run from Martin Maldonado. It didn't seem like he got it all in the swing, but it carries out of the ballpark. A 3-run home run for Martin Maldonado, his first 4-bagger of the spring, and the Brewers are out in front.
Just get it up in the air, and the wind is helping here. The wind blowing out strong out here to left center today, and got good extension, got it up in the air, and not sure if Maldonado thought he got all of it. Looked like he put his head down and said a few things, but able to carry out of here, and the Brewers with a 4 spot here in the 4th inning.
4 RBIs now for Martin Maldonado, and here's Eric Young Jr. Now the Brewers doing a lot of damage here with 2 outs against Dylan G. 4-1 now here in the 4th inning. Young lays down a bunt. Throw to first, not nearly in time. And the Brewers drawing some walks, getting a RBI single, a long home run. Now bunting their way on.
Well, you wonder why you do that with 2 outs and nobody on, but you get on first base. Now you clear Willie's spot in the batting order. You don't have to lead off the next inning. Yeah, playing even with the bag, almost on the grass, actually. And Eric Young Jr. feels as though if I put the ball down where I want it, they're not going to throw me out regardless of where they're playing.
So here's Willie Peralta batting for the 2nd time in this game. Quick snap throw down the first is late.
So you head back tomorrow morning, and then what? You go back to Bucks basketball, right?
That's right. Finish up with the Bucks, and
we weren't. We didn't get a chance to see, but they did the 30-year thing for Jimmy and John.
It was great. Yeah, 30 years of Jim Paschke and John McLaughlin as the voices of the Bucks, and you have a long history with Jim Paschke, so it was a lot of fun.
All right, good stuff, Sophia. Thanks for putting on the headset and chatting. A little Fox Sports Wisconsin broadcast. Sophia Minner. After a 4-run 4th inning, the Brewers now a 4-1 lead over the Kansas City Royals. We head to the top of the 5th. Time now for our Miller Lite What's on Tap, brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. It's Miller time. Upcoming games coming up here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Rock and I back on Saturday. And then Sunday at Cleveland, Tuesday against the Reds. And then do we break the TV truck and send it back to Milwaukee?
Is that where it heads? Is that where it goes?
I think that's where we're going to send it so we can get our game on the 4th.
Yeah, our buddy Marty Tarr's done a heck of a job directing and producing, and it's gone flawlessly. So it's been a lot of fun down here. doing Brewer baseball. This is like the third year we've had an extensive Brewers TV schedule.
I was going to say it wasn't that long ago that it was very rare to have
maybe
even
a couple,
1 or 2 games
2 or
on
3
in the spring. But what a way for the fans to stay connected to one of their favorite Wisconsin sports teams, that's for sure.
Especially when the weather's a little bit dicey back in the Midwest. You turn the TV on, you see the sunshine, the green grass, and something to look forward to.
All right, Willie Peralta, who has had a pretty good start so far. His only damage, a solo home run to Eric Hosmer in the 4th inning. Salvador Perez leads off now for the Kansas City Royals. He had a long conversation in the batter's box before they got going with fellow catcher Martin Maldonado. Maldonado with that 3-run home run to put the Brewers out in front. That ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying.
And the wind was blowing out to left, which didn't hurt either. There's a good two-seamer right there, right under the hands of Perez. And well, you talk about a workhorse, Salvador Perez behind home plate. He catches just about every day. And his numbers in the postseason have been eye-popping. Last year, he hit about 350 in the World Series. The year before, in the 330s. A clutch player.
This one on the ground, VR has it pop up right into his throwing hand for the first out. It's amazing how loaded and deep this Kansas City Royals team is. And you know, it sure is funny. They go to the World Series 2 years ago and lose it, and last year go back and win it. And Still Rock, there's so many people who say, yeah, they're not going to go back and win it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's interesting.
They got most of their team back, though.
Yeah,
they call it the old gang is back.
And they lost some guys, too. Johnny Cueto gone. They got Jeremy Guthrie, a pitcher, Ryan Madsen. Brewers now have Franklin Morales, who was with the club last year, Alex Rios, Ben Zobrist. So there has been a little bit of turnover, but that core is still there.
Jared Dyson, who was slated to take over for Alex Rios, is well, there you go, the Royals, and I guess that t-shirt speaks volumes. A lot of Royals fans here, by the way. A lot of Royals fans here at Maryvale today watching their club. This one, Orlando hits it right on the nose to Neuenhuis in center field. I was just going to say, though, that Jared Dyson has been injured since the first week of spring training, and he was slated to take over for Rios out in right field. But they've got their guys covered. That's for sure. They expect him back in the middle of April. One thing that Royals had found out this week is Tim Collins needed a second Tommy John surgery, and that's unexpected and unfortunate. You don't want to see a guy have to go through 2 of those, but he had a setback in his recovery just when they thought maybe he was on the right timetable to return. And only 26 years old, missed the entire 2015 season. And
hey, that's rough.
He's going to miss a lot more now.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, not a big guy. Was he about 5'6"?
Yep.
But he throws the ball pretty well.
Infante to short. And a nice quick inning for Willie Peralta after he gets the lead. Willie doing his job. The Brewers out in front 4-1 as we head to the bottom half of inning number 5 as the Brewers come to bat. Kelvin Herrera is going to be out on the mound for the Kansas City Royals now. A big fixture into that successful bullpen from a year ago for the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, one of the best in the business. Last year, the Royals had a 2.72 team earned run average out of the bullpen. Outstanding work. You see what Herrera did last year. 72 games and 271 earned run average. And you can see almost as many strikeouts as innings pitched. So he's a good one.
He was selected to the All-Star team as well. Didn't get a chance to pitch in that game, but goes to show you how good the Royals were and have been the last couple of years. Yeah, the Royals bullpen, Rock, 539 plus innings of work and have a 2.72 ERA.
Well, and again, there's a big difference between their starting rotation earned run average and their bullpen. You know, their starters had an earned run average at about 4.5. We talked about you know, sometimes the Royals starting rotation be a bit shaky. They thought that that was going to be corrected when Johnny Cueto came over. He pitched about half the season, and he's gone. Now he's in San Francisco.
Well, you know, the funny thing about that is he was 4-7 with a 4.76 during the regular season games for them. And during the postseason, 2-1 with a 5.40. He did win a couple of postseason games, but you're right. The fact that he was with them for about a half a year, Ian Kennedy, if you look at the rotation, he's the guy that they signed to kind of take Cueto's spot. Of course, they have Edinson Volquez right out of the gates with Yordano Ventura. The feisty Ventura.
Controversial. Always seems to be wanting to get into a scrap with somebody, doesn't he? Seemed like that happened quite a bit last year.
Well, at the beginning of the season, it was if you didn't see the games, you had to watch the highlights late at night. That's for sure. He had something to do with it. Scooter Gennett lines one into right and off the glove of Infante for a base hit. But that's how the spring has gone for Scooter Gennett. A lot of things going his way.
Yeah. He was able to dump one into left field, but it was caught out there in left field. This time, look at the way this bat stays in a hitting zone. Nice level stroke out of the reach of Infante, and another base hit for Scooter Gennett. Same for the season, Scoot.
We hope to catch up with Scooter Gennett before this game is over with. Starting position players not all quite at that spot where they play the entire game just yet. Right. So we'll 3, maybe 4 at bats for these guys at most, and then they'll go out in the late innings.
And it's not that they can't play 9 innings, but you know the Brewers, Craig Counsell wants to see some of these other guys in action and make some decisions on, and very unusual to see a guy play the whole game at any point in spring training, for that matter.
Aaron Hill's 0 for 2. And he hits it hard to right field. Orlando going back and makes the catch. So 1 down here in the 5th inning for Domingo Santana, who got things going in the 4th with a 1-out walk. He ended up scoring on Villar's RBI single, and then Maldonado had the big home run, clear the bases. Battery mate's doing a nice job. Maldonado's picking up Peralta on offense, and Willie Peralta's done a good job on the mound so far.
Yeah, far and away his best start. You know, Willie Peralta today looks good. You know, breaking ball's been good. His fastball's had some life. Maldonado, not too many backup catchers better than Martin Maldonado. I mean, he will run into one from time to time, but give you a decent at bat and terrific behind home plate.
I would imagine there are not many clubs who can say that they've had the same two catchers on their roster for as long as the Brewers have been fortunate to have Lucroy and Maldonado together.
Yeah, backup catchers have a tendency to move around quite a bit. For that matter, starters too. Martin playing with a clear head this year. Yeah, the article that I read a couple of days ago, Martin had some family issues he was dealing with last year that was he was focused on and having a difficult time concentrating on what he was doing out there last year. So everything just fine with the Maldonado family now. So yeah, expect big things out of Martin this year.
Can't always block that out.
No, you can't.
Even while you're playing.
I mean, they're human. And you just can't.
Scooter on the run. Throw from Perez is late. And another stolen base for Milwaukee. They're running the bases a little bit here this spring.
Very aggressive. The guys that can run, they're not messing around. They're letting them run. Seeing who can steal, who can't. Just because you're fast doesn't mean you can steal bases. That Perez throw a little bit high, and Scooter able to beat it at second base.
2 stolen bases so far in this game for the Brewers. Herrera working on the mound for the first time of this game in relief of Dylan G. Domingo Santana has worked the count full. Here's 3-2. And he gets caught looking at strike 3, and he knew it.
Yeah, it looked like he was able to drop a breaking pitch in on Santana that time. Obviously looking fastball. Let's check it out. Maybe a changeup. It didn't look like a fastball. Maybe it was. We don't have a speed gun here, but a pitch that had a lot of movement on it. Caught the inside corner.
Here's Neuenhuis 0 for 2 in this game. Playing center field today. This one gets past the catcher Perez, but Jeanette will hold at second. Well, Neuenhuis trying to put a stamp on a roster spot in that Brewer outfield. Well, what a season that he went through a year ago after a very slow start with the Mets. 0-79, designated for assignment, traded to the Angels, didn't fare well with the Angels. He was designated for assignment and claimed back to the New York Mets, went to their AAA affiliate, and was called up to the big league club in early July and ended up finishing the season pretty strong for him. In the 37 games he played at .279.
Yeah. 4 home runs on the season, 3 of them in one game. How about that?
Yeah.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
Those are some of the things, though, that guys like David Stearns will look at when he's acquiring young, hungry players who haven't had a chance to make their mark with other clubs. They say, well, look how he finished the last half of last year. Same with Chris Carter's finish.
Well, and you have to have some guys that have major league experience. Neuenhuis there. There's David Stearns and on the left. Talked to David on our air, and we've talked to him quite a bit. He's certainly enjoying spring training. Says he's had opportunities to step back and just enjoy what he's doing, but it's a lot of work to be done.
Very even keel, bright young general manager. Neuenhuis draws another walk. Brewers have been patient at the plate here in the last inning and a half.
Yep, 4 walks on the day. 2 of them last inning. Both came around to score.
So Jeanette at second, Neuenhuis at first. 2 down for Chris Carter. Here's another guy who finished up the regular season strong for another team. That team, of course, being the Houston Astros. Carter's 3 home runs here in the spring for the Brewers tie him for the team lead. Alex Presley and Yadiel Rivera are the other 2, and this one is smoked to the gap and out. How about that? A line drive home run for Chris Carter.
Wow.
I'm not sure that got up more than 40 feet off the ground.
What was the hang time on that baby? That was a missile.
Man.
That looked like a 1-iron out there, and Chris Carter, that's what we're talking about. I mean, the extension and how that ball jumps off his bat, incredible power. Check this out. I mean, that is just raw power right there. Nice swing on balance, and just makes it over that fence barely. If it hit the fence, it might have knocked it over. Wow. Couple of 3-run homers for the Crew today.
Not too shabby. 4 home runs and 10 RBIs now in the spring for Carter.
We have a stopwatch on that line drive, maybe.
Marty will get it done.
Can you do a 1/1000 that quick?
Probably not.
That ball probably buried in that bank out there in left field.
We're not that high off the ground here, our press box location, and I guarantee you that ball didn't even come close to being at the level we are up here.
Yep, you're
which
probably
is
right.
Very rare.
As opposed to the one Maldonado hit.
Exactly.
Right?
We lost that one in the sky.
High towering home run. Took a while to get out of here, but that was a missile.
But they both count the same, don't they?
Yes, they do.
BR, a little grounder to Hosmer, and he flips to Herrera and just beats BR there at first base for the out. The final out of the 5th inning, but for the 2nd consecutive inning, the Brewers belt 3-run home runs. Chris Carter, as Rock said, just like a 1-iron. Lines out of here for the home run. His teammates love the muscle.
Hi, checking out the
Today, a couple of 3-run home runs have a 7-1 lead over Kansas City and get on board for the Brewers 2016 season with a Fans Choice 10-pack. New this year, you can either choose your games in advance or pick your games as you go. You'll still get your 11th game free. For details, go to brewers.com/10packs.
What a beautiful day for spring training baseball. You mentioned, Rock, the temperature, what, not even 80 degrees, about 79. No humidity, of course, ever here in the area.
Breeze, nice, very nice.
Sun feels good, shade feels even better. And the Brewers are putting on a nice show offensively. Maldonado and Carter with 3-run home runs. And Willie Peralta, who heads back out on the mound here in the 6th inning, having clearly his best start so far here with the Brewers in 2016. He'll be the opening day starter on April 4th, officially named earlier this week.
Willie Peralta against Madison Bumgarner, San Francisco Giants. Bumgarner having a rough spring. Did you notice that?
What are his numbers, Rock?
I don't think anybody's too worried about him, though.
Well, once you bring it up, I might be a little bit concerned. I think maybe the writers are in San Francisco. Alcides Escobar bats for the third time for Kansas City, 0 for 2 in this game. Now, there sure are a lot of connections between the Royals and the Brewers. Escobar being one of those, hits it hard, and EY can't catch up with it off his glove, and it deflects away from EY, but Escobar is going to be satisfied with a double.
I think Eric Young Jr. misjudged that one a little bit. I think he thought he had it all the way, just went off the thumb of his glove, I believe. I mean, Escobar with that big hack, you see him going back, it just misses it. And Escobar in with what looks like a double. Eric Young Jr. makes that play just about every time.
So a leadoff double for the Royals here in the 6th inning. Here's Moustakas, 0 for 2. Little slow roller, VR, just behind second base for the first out. Escobar moves over to third with one down.
They just love getting outs, you know, particularly with men in scoring position on one pitch. It looked like an off-speed pitch, and Moustakas out in front of it. That's the key to keeping that pitch count down. You don't want to be worried about striking everybody out. You get outs early in counts every now and again. That helps you, you know, throughout the game. You know, 6th inning here, and Willie throwing pitch number 70. So he's done a pretty good job today.
Willie's been very, very efficient, no question about that. We saw Jimmy Nelson the other day, Rock, and his last start was very efficient out on the mound against the Dodgers.
Yeah. Yeah, Willie with no walks today, a couple of strikeouts. And a lot of his outs today have come early in the count. And a very quick first inning. That always helps you.
Willie will manage opening day on April 4th, and Jimmy Nelson will pitch game 2 of that series against the Giants, and then Matt Garza will pitch game 3, the finale.
Ready to go. Salvi gonna take you a better.
And Taylor Youngman will be 4th in the rotation to open up the year, and then Chase Anderson, who was acquired from the Diamondbacks in that offseason trade, will be the 5th starter. Brewers looking for a couple of bullpen spots right now. That's about all that's available as far as the pitching staff goes.
They really just can't seem to, you know, get a feel for that put-away slider. They thought he might have had strike 3 the pitch before that last one. Went back to the fastball against Lorenzo Cain. There's Derek Johnson, the Brewers pitching coach, signaling down to the Brewers bullpen to start getting somebody ready.
Cain a big swing and a miss.
That's a dandy. There's that two-seam fastball right under the hands of Lorenzo Cain. Check this out. Look at Martin setting up inside. He puts it right there. A little bit off the inside corner, and Cain swings right through it. Good movement on that two-seamer today.
Good thing about what we're seeing out of Willie Peralta, this is not like a, you know, a Class A or Class 2 two-way type of lineup. I mean, these are the world champs. They have a lot of their regulars in there right now. The Royals do.
And normally they're pretty good fundamentally in situational hitting. You know, with a man in third, less than 2, they figure out ways to put the ball in play, and Peralta able to get his strikeout.
Here's Raul Mondesi, the pinch hitter. Hosmer's day is done. Roller to short. And there's the inning. Leadoff double. And the Royals leave him stranded on the bases. Nice outing here in this game for Willie Peralta. 6 very strong innings.
Sausages down here in Arizona. Did you get a chance to see who won? This is a
I'll watch for you while you read.
Okay, I'll do a read. 7-1 Brewers. It's time to start planning your 2016 group outing to Miller Park. Group packages are available at the discounted preseason rate through March 31st. So place your reservation now to lock in the lowest prices. Who was it?
Italian.
I didn't see it. I'm reading.
Surprised by that?
For your 2016 group event, go to brewers.com/groups.
Well done, Rock. Well, the Royals making another pitching change. Danny Duffy is going to be out to start the Brewer half of inning number 6.
Now you see Duffy's numbers last year: 4.08, 30 appearances, 24 starts. 136 and 2/3 innings. So the Ned Yost is rolling out all of his big boys today.
Maldonado hitting the ball well today. Leads off the 6th inning with a single. He already has a home run in this game. So Maldonado officially 2 for 3. Good to see.
Catching a heck of a game too. Getting Willie Peralta, who I would imagine is done. 6 strong innings today, and Maldonado and his buddy putting together a pretty good outing today.
Eric Young, the switch hitter. He's been on base twice today. Drew a walk, had a single, stolen base. His hit was a bunt well placed against the Royal defense. That was after Maldonado's home run. Back in the 4th inning. He makes a spot start for Ryan Braun, who is a late scratch today after the lineups came out. And Eric Young Jr. hits it long and far left field. Gone. EY with a home run, and the Brewers go long for the 3rd time in this game. That's his first spring training home run, and the competition for that extra outfield spot or two starting to heat up.
Yeah, pulling those hands in and knocking it out of here. Check it out. Right down the middle. Was supposed to be on the outside corner, and look at EY. Nice short stroke. Not a home run hitter, but Yeah, the Brewers with 3 now today. A couple of 3-run shots and a 2-pointer for E.Y. Jr.
9-1 ball game now. The Brewers lead here in the 6th inning. There's Josmiel Pinto now, who's pinch hitting for the pitcher Willie Peralta.
Oh, what a nice outing for Willie. And did he ever need that today? I don't know who feels more, or I should say, who feels better about it, Willie Peralta or Craig Counsell? You had to figure they were starting to creep in a little bit of concern over Willie having a rough spring, but boy, he came through today.
Against a good lineup as well.
Yeah, I mean a legit starting lineup, yeah.
Pinto strikes out, first out here in the 6th inning. So Willie will get another crack here at spring training, one more start, and then he will fully prepare for his opening day start on the 4th. There's Scooter Gennett with 1 down here in the 6th. Scooter had a single and a stolen base, scored a run in the 5th inning. Brewers were held hitless in the first 3 frames by Dylan G, and then jumped on him in the 4th inning. And they have scored all their runs over the last 3 innings. 9-1 they lead now.
See, Tony Cruz is behind home plate. Now, he's the former St. Louis Cardinal. Now, Cruz backed up Yadier Molina, who played just about every day. And now he's at Kansas City, backing up Salvador Perez, who plays every day. There's not a whole lot of prospects for playing time for Tony Cruz in his career.
Weren't we just talking about that, though, on the Brewers side with Maldonado being here as Jonathan Lucroy's back up for as long as he has now. Gennett waves at strike 3. Here's Aaron Hill. The Brewers would like to see Aaron Hill get some confidence in his swings here in the final week and a half of spring training. 152 coming in, 0 for 3 in this game. He's going to be over at third base for the majority of the time. I guess the big question mark, and some decisions are going to be made on this here in the next few days. Who are going to be some of the utility players in the infield, outfield?
And it might not even be somebody that's been here all spring. I mean, there could be some trades. You see it all the time. Trades last week of spring training.
Hill hits it hard left field. And this one is caught. A nice catch out in center field. Oh, it bounced over the wall for a ground rule double. My bad.
Yeah, hard to see out there. I did think
I thought the
Fuentes
umpire
got
signaled out. So a ground rule double for Aaron Hill.
Another pitch right down the middle of the plate, and Aaron Hill able to drop the head of the bat on it. Fuentes didn't come too far from catching it, but one hop and a ground rule double for Aaron Hill.
Well, Aaron Hill will take that. No question. And Santana, big heavy swing there. Right off Cruz's headgear. Nine runs on 8 hits for the Brewers. Santana has walked and scored a run. Santana will be the Brewers' right fielder to open up the 2016 season. Ryan Braun moves over to left, not playing in today's game. You got your corner outfielders all set. And this time Santana strikes out. Second time he has struck out, but Eric Young Jr. displaying some power. He's competing for a spot in that Brewer outfield. That'll help. 9-1 Milwaukee. Back here in Arizona, and in 2 weeks, the Sprint Cup Racing Series is on FS1 for the first time this season as the circuit heads to Martinsville, where Denny Hamlin looks to defend his title and claim his 6th career checkered flag on NASCAR's shortest track. It all starts Sunday, April 3rd at 10:30 a.m. Central, only on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Well, the Brewers having a nice day offensively, and part of the offensive action was Scooter Gennett at a base hit, a stolen base, also a run scored. Scooter Gennett now on the headset down in the dugout has been kind enough to join us. And Scooter slowed a little bit with that sore shoulder to start the spring, but boy, once you got back in action, it's like mid-season form. How's the spring gone for you?
It's gone pretty well. Like you said, it started off kind of rough with the shoulder deal, but they eased me back in real nice, and I'm feeling comfortable and relaxed and ready to go for the year.
Well, Scooter, how do you feel like your off season went? I mean, you had a rough start to the season last year, but then you came on. What were some of the things you were working on in the off season?
The biggest thing was resting, obviously, for about a month and a half, and then just getting my mind right, really, just mentally digging deep and trying to just clear everything out and get ready for spring, and obviously working out and doing all that great stuff too also plays in. But yeah, really just getting the mind right and getting ready for spring is the biggest thing for me.
It's got to be fun to be working with some of these young guys around you. I mean, got some pretty good athletes. It seems like, the minor leagues are going to be stacked with young players. How has the influx of new energy, helped spring training for you, quote-unquote veteran guys here on the ball club?
Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a veteran guy.
You're a veteran now, Scooter, You got a couple of years in.
Yeah, I guess. But no, it's been good. It's been a new environment, a lot of new faces. Really, the biggest thing is just getting to know everybody and getting to know their story and getting to know the person really, so you can be there for them, whether that's pushing them or having their back, whatever the case is. You got to get to know one another so you can see what triggers them and what gets them going, so you can be a good team.
Scooter, I want to ask you something. When you're playing a team like the Kansas City Royals, you look at what they've been able to accomplish the last couple of years, finally winning the World Series. And you see such a large core group of these guys that have been together for a long time and how they built it, knowing that's what the Brewers are trying to do here for the future. What's that like to be on the opposite side, knowing I'm hoping that's what we're going through right now?
Right, we're our big thing this spring is connecting, and you can see it on the Royals team. You can see the chemistry that they have. Teams like them, the Giants, teams that just click. They might not have the best numbers at the end of the year, but they win ball games. They grind it out and play together and play for each other is the big thing, and that's all we're trying to do now with all the new faces and stuff. It's getting to know one another, connecting, and you know, hopefully the end result is winning and having a team with good chemistry.
Well, Scooter, I want to ask you this, too. You kind of had the flair for dramatics right as the season began yesterday on a day off. You went and got married to Kelsey over at Miller Brewing. What do you got up your sleeve here as we return to Milwaukee maybe in April, this time on a day off? How can you top that?
I don't think I can.
That's a good answer, by the way, in case she's watching.
Yeah, that's a good answer. No surprises, no crazy surprises this year. Just focused on the year and just trying to stay consistent and you know, not trying to do anything crazy like getting married or doing any of that kind of stuff.
All right, Scooter, I appreciate your time, and good luck to you with the upcoming season, and keep it going, okay?
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
All right, that's Scooter Gennett, Milwaukee's second baseman, having a nice spring here over the last couple of weeks. He'll open up, of course, potentially in that leadoff role for Milwaukee.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if Craig Counsell allows Scooter to get some at-bats against lefties. I mean, there's no question about how productive Scooter can be against right-handed batters, and that's going to be a big part of the decision as to whether he's going to be able to lead off. I mean, you'd like to have that top of your order pretty consistent throughout the day. Typically you don't have a platoon with your leadoff hitter, so Scooter certainly when he is healthy, and as the season went on last year, very productive, getting on base, and has really improved his defense since coming to the big leagues.
This one fouled off to the right side, and if you put on the headset, some things could possibly happen, and this is as soon as we were done with Scooter. A little suntan spray there. That's Pat Murphy. How about the coach getting into the pranks?
Yeah, it's good.
Keep
Get
it
them all
loose.
involved. They keep it loose, the coaching staff. They do a heck of a job.
2 down for Tony Cruz, the catcher.
This is about the time of spring training where the coaches need to mix it up a little bit and kind of give the guys something new. Every now and again, Craig Counsell will call up batting practice and pregame warm-ups and just let the guys sleep in a little bit, get to the ballpark and play a game. They've had some night games, which is a nice refreshing change from the normal routine.
They had a day-night doubleheader earlier this week as Knebel has a very strong 7th inning, 1, 2, 3, including a couple of punch-outs. And the Brewers keep this 9-1 advantage.
as we hit the 7th inning stretch here at Maryvale. Hey, enjoy the ultimate flexibility this season. With the Brewers' new monthly ballpark pass for just $49, you get access to every Brewers home game in April, excluding opening day, with tickets sent directly to your phone. Learn more, visit brewers.com/ballparkpass. That's a good idea. Ballpark, ticket right to your phone, like they do at the airport. Now you can put your boarding pass right on your phone.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that? I just realized that, 2 trips ago.
Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah, I know. Well, hey, it's a little bit late. Better late than never.
That's right, because you're still going to be flying for the rest of your life. John Lannon out on the mound for the Royals now to face Kirk Neuenhuis, who looking for his first hit of the ball game. Drew a walk back in the 5th and scored. Brewer bats have come alive via the home run. 3 multi-run home runs by Milwaukee's offense. Neuenhuis getting the start in center field for the Brew Crew here this game. So as Neuenhuis bats here in the 7th inning against Lannon, we go back down to the Brewer dugout right now, and today's starting pitcher, Willie Peralta, joins us. And Willie, a real nice outing for you today. 6 strong innings, just gave up that solo home run. Tell us about how you felt out on the mound today, maybe in a bounce back type effort compared to what you were able to pitch against the Angels last time out.
Feel pretty good, man. I think today was a nice day. Locating my pitches pretty good. Working down in the sun. 2-seamer was great today. Great movement, and overall, man, feel pretty good.
Why do you think today for you there was a greater level of comfort out there on the mound and more success?
My first few start, man, I just trying to work on something. I was trying to throw a little bit more changes, make sure I get the pitch right for the season. And but today, man, I only got 2 starts left. I think I just go out there today and pitch. Don't try to work anything, just trying to get people out.
Really, tell us how fired up you are getting the nod for opening day. It's going to be an exciting time for you. How are you going to be able to control your emotions on opening day at Miller Park?
Oh, man, pretty excited, man. But at the same time, it's the same game. I know it's a lot of adrenaline, but it's the same game. You have to go out there and perform well and execute your pitch. It doesn't matter what game is it. But I'm pretty excited, man, to start the game, get an opportunity and happy with it.
Well, it looked today like you were pitching more like you would on opening day. I mean, early in spring training, you guys work on stuff, a lot of change-ups, maybe, throw pitches in situations where you normally would. It would be fair to say that today would be similar to the way you would pitch on opening day. It looked like you had really good life on your fastball. Your slider was more consistent today.
Yeah, it's like I said, we're really close. I only got one start left before the opening day. That team. That's the reason. I just go out there and try to execute the pitch like a normal regular season game. Just trying to execute the pitch, make some pitches, working when I was behind the count, flip some slider, and overall, man, able to execute today.
Willie, what will be the biggest difference for you is you look to put away and forget about what happened in 2015? Not a lot went right for you health-wise and what you were trying to do on the mound and battling through all the injuries. What will be the biggest difference for Willie Peralta in 2016?
I think he just helped, man. I think if you're healthy, I'm going to be able to repeat the 2014 season that I have. I think last year was a tough season, man. I was out for almost 2 months, and then finished the season hurt too. So I think this year my main goal is being healthy, being out there every 5th day, and I think that's all, man. I know if you're unhealthy, I'm going to be able to perform well.
Willie, what are you most excited about with the pitchers that are surrounding you in that starting 5 rotation? I mean, everyone keeps saying you guys are rebuilding, restructuring. Tell us why you think your starting 5 right now, including yourself in that group, could do some damage this year.
Man, I think we better than people think. I think Jimmy got great talent, great arm. He do a nice job last year. Yeoman, man. he's doing pretty good. I think I saw Garza pitching the other day. He looked pretty good. I think he's healthy too, and the way I see him throw, I don't see the way he's throwing right now. I don't see that way last year, and I think he's healthy. I think he's gonna bounce back too. And Chase, he been all right, man. He's last year have a nice year too, and I think we're gonna be okay, man. I think there's a lot of talent in our rotation, and it's experience too. Like Garza is a guy that can bounce back. They make the difference for us too.
All right, good stuff, Willie. Appreciate your time. Nice effort today, and have fun on opening day, okay? Enjoy it.
All right, man. Thank you.
Okay, that's Willie Peralta getting the start today, looking real strong through 6 innings, gave up just a solo home run, and will be the 2016 Brewers opening day start. That's quite an honor.
Yeah, no kidding. I know he's going to be excited. It's going to be important for Willie to be able to control those emotions. But certainly a guy deserving. I mean, he's a guy that has been pretty consistent.
Villar rips a double into the left field corner for Jonathan Villar's second hit of the ball game. Good to see some offense here in this game for Villar, coming right at a perfect time.
Yeah, 9 runs on 9 hits for Milwaukee and making the most of all their opportunities. Look at a slider that stayed up, and Villar able to get good extension in a perfect swing and whistling that one down the left field line. Now, it's going to be very important for, guys like Willie Peralta and Matt Garza that have bounce-back seasons. I think if they're able to do that, take the pressure off the other guys in that rotation, I think it could be a good year for the starters.
No question about that. The addition of Chase Anderson as well. Now, yesterday on the Brewers' day off, Chase Anderson pitched with the minor league Brewers, their AAA team, to keep his turn through the rotation, get his work involved as well. A lot goes on here, even on a day off. For some people, it's not so much a day off. Got to keep working, that's for sure. Peterson on the fly out. That's the final out here in the 7th inning, as the Brewers maintain their 9-1 lead. For the 8th to go, the Brewers with a 9-1 lead, and this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. Franklin Morales out on the mound now for the Milwaukee Brewers. Former Kansas City Royals signed a free agent deal with the Brewers on March 5th, and his fate to make the ball club is going to come down here in the next few days.
And Morales, didn't start throwing on the big league mound here in spring training up until about 10 days ago. 3rd appearance for him. He's given up a run, or I should say 2 runs in 2 innings of work. Actually, no. Let me start over. 3rd appearance, has not allowed a run in 2 innings of work. There you see his numbers last year. You know, the statistics here that we get here at spring training, everything's kind of bunched close together.
That's tight, Rock.
And when you wear glasses, that could be problematic.
I am totally hearing you on that. Travis Snyder leads off against Morales with a base hit. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the last couple of spots work out in that Brewer bullpen. We saw Knebel pitch the 7th inning, a 1-2-3 7th, including an easy ground out in that infield and a couple of strikeouts as well. So he's solidified a spot there. And now it's up to guys like Chris Capuano, Morales, Boyer. 2 spots, maybe 3 guys there.
Yeah, the chances for Morales went up dramatically when Sean Nolan not able to make the ball club out of spring training. Probably end up on the disabled list. A sore left elbow.
Pop up in the infield. Brewers making a host of changes defensively. That's Ramon Flores, who is coming now to play first base. And don't be surprised if he makes the club and he would go from outfield to infield. There's Presley, who's out in left field now for Milwaukee. A lot of defensive changes. Broxton is out in center, and Peterson's out in right field. So the Brewers have made all the defensive replacements so far in this game. Giacchini's at third base. Perez is at short. Elmore is over at second, and we just saw Flores at first. Did you get all that, Rock?
I do. I have it written down.
Because I'll be asking you again for my own sake here between innings, probably.
Yep, a ground ball hits to somebody. I'm going to bark out the name. I've got it.
There's Clint Barmas. Royals starting to go to their bench, too. They are down to 39 players in their camp. The Brewers at 41 right now. And Morales loses Barmas. Let's check out what's on FoxSportsWisconsin.com. We've got the stock report, which is something you got to have, and also the Bucks prospects, the Sweet 16 for the Badgers. Badgers, of course, taking on Notre Dame. That's tomorrow night. That's Craig Counsell, who has a split heart for tomorrow's game. Of course, he went to Notre Dame, and it's hard for him, he says, to root against the Badgers, too. So that's all right.
So he can't lose, really, right?
He says he can't lose.
In a position that he can't lose. It's awfully difficult to root against your alma mater, though. I mean, wouldn't you say?
Well, there's no doubt about it.
I mean, could you possibly root against your alma mater?
That's why I went to a Division III school, so I don't have to face these challenges in the NCAA tournament. Got to root for all the Wisconsin teams.
Whitewater, sure. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. They've won a national championship in each of the big 3 sports.
Bunch of them.
Yeah. Speaking of UW Whitewater, Rock, Doug Henry, the bullpen coach for the Kansas City Royals, resides in Heartland and started his coaching career over on the Warhawks staff. And a nice running catch by Broxton.
Wow.
And not show off his arm. And he got him! Keon Broxton using his legs and then his arm for a big-time double play. He wants to be on the big league roster on April 4th, and that's how you get it done. Yeah.
the 50/50 sellers in their bright orange t-shirts this season, you can purchase a $2 raffle ticket for your chance to take home 50% of the day's ticket sales, while the other 50% will support health, education, recreation, and basic needs. Together, we can make a difference in this community. How about this, partner?
Broxton, boy.
Nice. Grabs it, not satisfied with just the out. Realizes that the runner a little bit too far off of second base, comes up and throws a bullet into second base to end the eighth. There's some kind of talented Kean Broxton, making up a lot of ground in a very short period of time to catch that one.
Well, the Brewers go to hitting now here in the eighth inning, and Alex Presley, who came in to play left field, is now batting for the first time in this game. Here's a kid, Rock, that is out of options, 30 years old. He's hit 3 spring training home runs, which is second only to Chris Carter. And he's trying to be one of those extra outfielders to help out this ball club here. Presley coming over from the Houston Astros organization.
Another guy who's got major league experience, and there's a lot to be said for that. Can't have enough of experienced players on your bench.
Yeah, 259 his major league batting average in 329 games. It's with the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Minnesota Twins, and the Houston Astros. Left-handed hitter.
And Peter Moreland trying to make this ball club, having a rough spring. And you see Presley earlier this spring taking a pitch down in the strike zone, knocked it out of here at Camelback Ranch against the White Sox. Nice easy swing.
That's all you need, right?
Bat speed at the point of contact. That's what generates power.
(3-1). I mentioned some of the Wisconsin connections from the Kansas City Royals. Doug Henry talked about him. You know, Ned Yost, the manager, his son Ned the Fourth, still in the Brewers organization. He's one of the coaches at Brevard County, the Brewers High A affiliate, as Presley strikes out.
And Dale Swaim, the hitting coach.
Yep. There's Pinto batting now. Osmeal Pinto came in to catch for Milwaukee. Mike Gerselli, Rock, too, the third base coach of the Kansas City Royals, a Wisconsin native from Clintonville. He's been in the minors as a player and coach up until a few years ago when he got promoted on Ned Yost's staff. And how about that, going a couple of World Series and win on the World Series and help it out over at third base?
Yeah.
Pinto with the one out base hit.
Been a real nice run for these Kansas City Royals. I think everybody in their hearts pulling for Kansas City over the last couple of years. No longer the underdog. And yeah, I would imagine having a pretty good shot to repeat. There's Ned, there's Dale.
How about Dale Swaim? And a coaching stint with Boston and one with Kansas City, has won 2 World Series.
Took over for Ned back in 08.
Yep.
Got the Brewers to the wild card.
When I think of the Kansas City Royals and all the success they had back in the 70s and 80s with George Brett, Whitey Herzog was the manager, of course, but Last season, in an interleague win over the Brewers, Ned Yost became the winningest manager in Royals history.
Two pretty good baseball guys right there. They've seen a lot. They've done a lot. They've done a lot of winning. Ned Yost, part of the '82 Brewers team that went to the World Series. Not much to say at this point in spring training, right? Just trying to get through it, keep their players healthy, get them ready. What is it, 10, 11 days left?
11 days till opening day.
Not a lot of
Jake
mystery.
Elmore strikes out.
Not a lot of mystery, not a lot of questions to be answered for this Kansas City Royals club. So it's been pretty much, standard operating procedure for Ned Yost and his coaching staff.
A
lot of the same players.
Interesting thing, Rock, about the Will Middlebrooks now batting. The interesting thing about the Royals is they beat the Mets, of course, for the World Series. They open up against the Mets in Kansas City in a 2-game series. They're going to raise the World Series flag in Game 1 and then wait till Game 2 to get the World Series ring presentations. How about that?
Salt
if you're
in the
the
wound.
Mets on the other side.
Salt in the wound, opening up the season with an interleague matchup. Unusual. Yeah, Mets are going to have to sit through that for 2 days.
All you got to do is win those 2 games, right? And get a little payback.
Yeah.
Spoil the party. Heading to the 9th here in Maryvale. St. Mary's, a passion for patient care. To the 9th we go, and the Brewers getting 9 runs in this ball game. 3 multi-run home runs for the Brewers. It was Eric Young Jr., it was Martin Maldonado, it was Chris Carter, all in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings as they get to Kansas City pitching. And Willie Peralta, the other big storyline for Milwaukee, 6 strong innings. He gave up just 1 run, and now Zach Jones is going to make his spring training debut for Milwaukee. As you see his numbers from the minor league systems, Rock, Rule 5 pick.
Yeah, first time we've seen him in a game. He has not appeared in a big league game yet. He had some injuries that he was working through. 45 games last year for Zach, a 5-4 record, and you can see a lot more strikeouts than innings pitched. 68 punch outs and just shy of 52 innings of work. That's pretty impressive.
Here's a guy, ironically, back in 2009, while still in high school, was selected by the Kansas City Royals in the 24th round, did not sign, and then in 2012, when he got back into the draft, he was selected in the 4th round by Minnesota. So trying to make his way here to the bigs, which he has not had a chance of doing just yet. And probably the toughest part here is you take a look at the fact that he's the Rule 5 is what can he do here in an outing or two when it comes to decision time. That's tough.
Well, when he's healthy, scouting reports say he can get it up there in the upper 90s. Slider, curveball. But a hard thrower, not a big guy, but he can bring it up there. 6'1", 205 pounds. Kind of average size.
Ramon Fuentes, the batter for Kansas City. He took over in center field. So is Peralta going 6 strong innings, then Knebel a 1-2-3 7th. Morales gave up a single and a walk, but got the big double play by Keon Broxton to get through the 8th inning, and now it's Zach Jones. This one hit hard right field. Peterson looking up, warning track, and gone. A home run for Fuentes to lead off the 9th inning against Jones in his first appearance here in spring training on the mound. Rough start.
Fastball and a 1-2 count. Pretty straight. They say that Jones a little inconsistent with the breaking stuff. Check this out. There it is. And Fuentes gives it a ride, and the Kansas City Royals on the board. No doubt about that one.
Here's Mondesi, who came in as a defensive replacement as well. He gets to bat for the 2nd time in this game. His dad played in the majors. His big storyline, if you watch the World Series a year ago, became the first player in Major League history to make his debut in the World Series. His Major League debut.
How about that, huh?
Game 3 at Citi Field in New York.
How do you top that?
Played in that one game, had 1 at bat. They like what he's got, though, and he shows off a little flair there with a single to right. His dad won the 94 National League Rookie of the Year.
Was there an outfielder with a better arm than Raul Mondesi? In his days with the Dodgers. Nothing wrong with that fastball for Zach Jones. He just needs to be able to throw something else for strikes. Slider, curveball.
Here's Cologne. An interesting storyline with Mondesi making his Major League debut, Rock, in the World Series. His dad never played in one.
There you go. And how long did Raul Mondesi Sr. play in the big leagues? Was it 10? More
15
than that?
big league seasons.
Yeah. He's got that on his old man.
Little comebacker, Jones. A nice double play turned The young pitcher out on the mound. Boy, he needed that after giving up the home run and a single.
Man, that's a breaking pitch. That's a pitch that he needs to be able to throw to make it in the big leagues. Got him out on the end of the bat, and an easy 1-6-3 double play.
Here's Hernandez now for the Royals. Jones and the Brewers out away from a spring training victory here against Kansas City. Tomorrow the Brewers hop on the bus and play at the Chicago White Sox. I'm sorry, the Chicago Cubs.
Head to Mesa tomorrow.
That's right.
We got a webcast tomorrow, partner.
Got the webcast tomorrow, and then Saturday back on TV.
Yeah.
Against the Diamondbacks. Well, the Diamondbacks have had quite a spring. 18-6.
Right. And winning just about every day. They have a pretty good ball club they put together. Tough division, though.
Yep, they're in the West trying to compete with the Dodgers and the Giants. Now, if you're in the West, what's transpired every other year, the even years, and you're dealing with the Giants seemingly going to the World Series and winning, it's the even year.
How often do you think they've heard about that this spring?
Ain't going to stop. I think we'll talk about that on opening day, the opening series when the Giants come to Milwaukee. Big strikeout for Jones. Now that's how this one's going to end here today. Craig Counsell's Brewers winning 9-2 over Kansas City. Jones gave up the home run and a single, got the double play and a strikeout to end this game. So Milwaukee a winner. We're going to wrap things up from Maryvale when we come back.